Welcome back to another episode of Beltline Construction. I'm your host, Mighty Joe Stankowski from GrandRapidsPersonalTrainer.com. We've got a lot of stuff to cover today, and we're going to talk specifically about the kind of warm-ups you can do before you're getting ready for exercise. Last week we talked about level ones and just doing anything to start accumulating the habit, really getting used to the idea of regular physical activity. We're moving kind of into level 2 territory now, where you have the habit and you want to really get more out of your time you have to work out. So we're going to talk about dynamic warm-ups specifically. The other kind of warm-ups we have that we're not going to do, and I'm going to tell you exactly why, we have general warm-ups, which a lot of people are familiar with. This is where you get on a bike or a treadmill and you kind of go very lower body dominant and very single plane. And while it's good if you're a cyclist or a runner, if you're doing stuff in the gym or outside the gym for that matter, we need to be able to move in all three planes of motion. We need to bend and rotate and twist and go forward and backward, but all three planes of motion are really important. So we need to make sure we're addressing them in some way. And general warm-ups just don't do that. Great if you just got out of maybe some sort of rehab problem or had an injury or heart surgery perhaps. But what we want to do is get you ready for the kind of exercise you're going to do in the real world. The other kind of warm-up, it would be a specific warm-up. And for example, if you're a power lifter, an Olympic weightlifter, and you're lifting some heavy poundages, and rather than go from riding a bike or the elliptical machine or a treadmill for 3 to 5 minutes or 10 minutes and going from there right to a 400-pound lift, you'd start to warm up maybe with 135 pounds first and going to 2 1/4 and then kind of moving up progressively until you're at the weight you'd use. Again, here we're going to assume that you're not that guy or girl and that you're just doing general fitness, trying to drop a few pounds, maybe gain a few pounds of muscle, get a bit more athletic and healthy. So we're going to work with dynamic warm-ups, which is the focus of today's episode. Dynamic warm-ups do everything that the other warm-ups do, plus what they do is they really get you moving in all three planes of motion, as I was mentioning. They also get you set where you could work through the entire muscle action spectrum. Now, that's some pretty big words, I'm sure, just if you're not familiar with the whole fitness thing that I'm talking about. So what it means is, in the gym, we typically think about producing force. You know, we lift a weight, we focus on lifting something, but in the real world, we have to also reduce forces. You know, sometimes the door is closing on you when the wind blows, so you have to be able to stop things from moving you around. We also have to be able to just resist force. And again, with the door example, if you're pushing a door open, you're pushing the door out, you don't want it to twist you away as well. So you have to resist that force from your core. So we need to be able to work in all three planes, producing, resisting, and really absorbing forces. So if I could have my helpers come out here, I have Stephanie and Travis again. You might remember them from the last couple episodes. We're going to start off by taking you through a few of the movements that we can use. And in a perfect world, we'd have a big field to work with. We have all kinds of implements and different training tools we can throw and run and skip and jump. But because we're really, with Beltline Fitness, working with the idea that we're in a small space, maybe a dorm room, living room, basement gym, whatever you might have available, we're using minimal equipment, and we're going to use just body weights as much as we can. So what we got here, the first move I want to do is I want to work with Stephanie, and we're going to work with a lunge. And we're going to just start with a basic lunging movement pattern. You see she's going to go forward and step back, and we're going to alternate for right now and do a few repetitions of this. So this is really a no-frills exercise. It's what I would term as a level change movement. What we could do to step this up to be a bit more appropriate for her level of fitness is we're going to throw some rotation in here as well now. So she's going to reach out, and if we actually have you reach over the opposite leg, it's like line dancing sometimes. There we go, awesome. So you have to do a lunge forward and reach out. So we're getting extra movement here. So it's not just a single plane lower body movement. We're getting upper body, we're getting back involved, we're getting producing force, reducing force, absorbing force as she's lowering herself down, and she's not falling over sideways. And that's actually a much bigger challenge than it looks like. And I know you at home are going to be doing this along with us here in just a minute too, so you'll find out exactly what I mean. Next I want to have Travis come in here, and we're just going to do some push-ups, because it's another basic exercise that most people are familiar with. And I know it's been your bench day earlier, so we're going to try to take it easy on you. Just like any other push-up, we're going to stay tall through the spine. And it's pretty simple, right? So what I want to do now, because he's a strong guy, he's in shape, he's been training for a while, I want to take him to a clock face push-up. So if you imagine that straight ahead of him is 12 o'clock, off to the right here is going to be like towards 3 o'clock, back towards me is going to be the 9 o'clock position. I'm going to have him go back and forth along the clock face. Some people are strong enough and stable enough that they can go from 11 to 1, some can go from 9 to 3 possibly. It would be a very explosive sort of movement right there to do, but if you can do it, you want to do your movement. He's getting tired, so we're going to call that a set for him right there. And you get the idea. And this is fitness. This is where we have the whole prom date thing. Painless range of motion, demonstrating acceptable technique. Next thing I want to do, I'm going to do a squatting pattern. I know Stephanie has some issues with her ankles where she's not very mobile. We're going to take her through anyway and have Travis do it at the same time. So you can see just two different ways we can modify a basic exercise. What I want to do too to make it a bit more challenging for both of them and you at home is I want to have your fingers laced behind your head in what I call the prisoner position. And you can do prisoner lunges, prisoner squats, prisoner anything pretty much. And I just want to sit down right now from this, and we'll start with that. So we're sitting down, looking good. And again, Stephanie limits her depth just because her ankle is going to be the limiting factor. Now we can do here too with both you guys, have you even throw the twist in here. So I want to do a bit of a pivot. I want your heel to come around, excellent. You guys both got it. If you've ever swung a golf club or a baseball bat, it's kind of the same sort of movement there. So we want to get the post, as a golfer would call it. And how do we make it more challenging still? Well, we could even reach your hands straight overhead. There we go. So it puts a lot more stress on your back as you're going. So you're kind of getting stretching and strengthening and moving and absorbing and reducing forces all at the same time. Looking really good right here. Another movement we could add in here is a very simple movement pattern. Some people love it, some people hate it. We're going to call this one the mountain climber. I know this is one of Stephanie's favorites. So we're going to have Stephanie demo this one right now for us if we can. And now you can see it's a basic movement. Again, we're kind of like running in place, but very small space because we don't have room to run around our entire apartment. And if you're just starting out, just getting this whole fitness thing, we kind of like this. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Pretty easy, right? Now, if you're in a bit better shape like Stephanie is, we could do it if we keep a couple more reps going here, unless you're going to huff and puff on me. So we kind of 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 3. And we can stop right there. And what we're trying to do is get about 10 repetitions in all of these activities. So we're not trying to blow ourselves out. We're not burning out. It's a warm-up, not a burnout. So what I'm ready to do now, if you guys are, is actually want to go through a full warm-up at home, do what you can do, take whatever modification of these movements you can. I'm going to step out of their way and let you guys take it. So you ready? Let's start with the lunge pattern, whichever one you're best with. Good. We're going to give it about 10 repetitions. And I'll talk you guys through it. And again, at home, you can see that they have shoulders over knees, over hips, over feet, kind of a nice straight line. And if we have Stephanie start to do that reaching movement, so I'm going to have you rotate over the top, so you have to take an arm down. Good, really reach out far. Good, Travis looking good. When we get to about 10 or so, we're going to drop down and do some push-ups. Whichever ones you can handle. If it means you have to do them from your knees, if it means you could do with your feet elevated on the bench or the couch, you can do that as well. And if it means you can't do a full range because you're getting tired because you got bench day, then we just have to shorten the repetition a little bit, and that's fine too. We're looking good. Remember, we want to try to lead with your chest, not your chin. Excellent. Remember, it's warm up, not burnout, especially if you had bench there. You don't want to be pushing yourself too hard, and there we go. We're going to move up now to a squatting pattern. And we're, again, assuming this is about 10 repetitions. I'm not counting too close because it's a warm-up. There's no hard and fast rule to how many, how fast, how far. We just want to prepare you for exercise. And we're both doing good. Travis has great depth, and again, because Stephanie can't get really good depth, she just modifies the move by getting an extra plane of motion in here. Looking good. If we could add more speed, that's one of those things we can do, and it's always a big if, using our prom date guidelines. Painless range of motion, demonstrating acceptable technique. So if it hurts, don't go that far, that fast, that many, that often. Last one we've got here, Stephanie's favorite again. If Travis's chest is up for it, we're going to go into some mountain climbers. I'll let you guys count out 10 your way. Mine would be about 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 2, and let's take up to 10 that way. And once you get to 10, I'll pop back in here with you guys. All right, looking awesome. How's everybody feeling right now? We're doing okay? All right, good deal. So again, it's a warm-up. So how fast do we go? How far? How many? It depends on you. Again, it's a warm-up. What we're going to do here in another 15, 20 seconds or so is get one more cycle of these through. Because warm-ups, right now it might feel like a workout. I mean, I'm sure you guys are working, especially after benching earlier today. So it can be tough. And if it does, that's the great thing about a dynamic warm-up, is it can become a workout too. So it's very portable. If you're traveling and dealing with hotels, hotels aren't normally known for having the best fitness centers. They might have a treadmill or a bike, which is a useful tool, but it's not the entire workout. So this is a very portable sort of workout we have to work with. So if you guys are about ready, we'll just kind of, I guess, sign out now and let you guys watch the rest of this workout, or the warm-up, and kind of join in with us. So I'm going to back out the picture again here. One more warm-up. Let's take it away. I'm Mighty Joe from GrandRapidsPersonalTrainer.com, and this is Beltline Construction, and we'll see you next time. Till then, train like you mean it. Looking good, guys. Good lunch. Nice job.